Yo, in part 1 of this breakdown, we took a look at Jiraiya's teaching style of drilling the fundamentals into his students, primarily Minato and Naruto, how the two were different and how he believed Naruto was more like he was than Minato. We quickly explored the fact that Jiraiya had to develop his talent as a shinobi in comparison to Kakashi. We touched on how Jiraiya's introduction to us came as Kakashi asked Ibisu for the favor of properly guiding and teaching Naruto the basics because he himself would be teaching Sasuke and preparing him for the next round of the Chunin exams. In this episode, we are going to go further in depth. Did I say that right? In depth. Alright, whatever. In depth with Kakashi's time teaching Sasuke and how he himself said he preferred working with him because Sasuke was like how he was as a kid. We'll then explore Jiraiya's time away from the village as he was involved with gathering information for the protection of Konoha, and we will compare that to Kakashi's time in the Anbu Black Ops and how they served the Hokages of the time. Also, we'll discuss how Kakashi and Jiraiya shared information about the AKatsuki, but before we do that, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more Naruto breakdowns. Alright, let's get into it. Let's get back to speaking about Kakashi and his own personal development as a shinobi. Kakashi from the very beginning was seen as a prodigy, a genius, and was ahead of everyone else around him. Kakashi was the youngest graduate from the Hidden Leaf's Ninja Academy at the age of 5. My ninja, gosh darn it, you know he thought everybody else around him rode the short bus to school for sure. He is the son of the famous shinobi genius Sakumo Hatake, who was known as the Hidden Leaf's White Fang. Kakashi had high expectations and met and exceeded a lot of those expectations. It's my assumption that when the third Hokage found out that Kakashi was a prodigy, he wanted to make sure that he would fall in line with the Hokage tree. So he purposely placed him under the guidance of another prodigy that was taught by one of his students, Minato Namikaze. Because truth be told, Jiraiya was ducking and dodging the job of Hokage because he loves these 304s and he's a rolling stone, baby. It is what it is. Let's clear something up. We see the anime and the manga depict Jiraiya as a knucklehead and a kid that struggled early on, but the truth is he, Orochi Epstein, and Tsunade graduated from the Ninja Academy at the age of 6 due to the fact that they grew up in the era of war. But make no mistake, Jiraiya was special, so special that he was able to produce 2 Hokages. Back to Kakashi, he was the student of Minato and they were also alike, so it made the learning process easier due to Kakashi's ability to grasp things very quickly and he studied vigorously. These same traits were what made it easy for him to teach Sasuke. On top of them being alike, Kakashi had the special task of being the only one left in the Hidden Leaf village who would be able to help guide Sasuke in his development of his Sharingan. Yo, you guys remember his older brother Itachi Uchiha had to go on a secret mission to delete everyone in his clan except for his younger brother to prevent civil war within the Hidden Leaf. It was pretty wild. We can see the similarities in Kakashi and Sasuke during both of their bell tests, with both of them touching a bell as they made an attempt to snag one from their sensei's waist. Kakashi was able to demonstrate great individual skill as he went toe-to-toe with Minato, who was clearly holding back. The strategy he deployed was to wait for both Rin and Obito to be out of the way so that he wouldn't have to worry about needing to cover them, and in the process he found the appropriate time to try and launch his attack on Minato, who was impressed but not surprised. He wanted to see Kakashi demonstrate proper teamwork and work in coordination with Rin and Obito and not as a solo combatant. I'm not really sure if Kakashi was trying to get the bells or actually delete Minato. My ninja, homie was using paper bombs and came at his own sensei with the intent to erase the blonde hairs right off of his scalp. He even tried to use the Chidori, but Minato had marked him with his teleportation formula and stopped the young ninja before he could activate the jutsu. We get to observe Kakashi experience deja vu when Sasuke hid and waited for his opportunity. Sasuke allowed Naruto to battle it out with Kakashi, who was able to read one of Jiraiya's books, Make Out Paradise, in the process. While Sasuke was hidden, we see Naruto use the multi-shadow clone jutsu to restrain Kakashi, who simply used a substitution jutsu. Like, bruh, come on, I know you didn't think he would make it that easy for you. Naruto indeed thought it would be that easy and ended up beating himself up. We catch up to Sasuke, who tried to straight delete Kakashi when he thought he had his guard down. Sasuke launched shuriken and kunai knives at Kakashi when he was lecturing Naruto about seeing through deception when the deletion attempt took place. However, Kakashi got him with another substitution jutsu, and Sasuke had to vacate his hiding place because he gave up his location. After Kakashi put Sakura in a genjutsu, we see the momentary 1v1 take place between Sasuke and Kakashi. Sasuke used a diversionary straightforward attack to get Kakashi in position for some trap kunai, which allowed him to get behind Kakashi to launch a couple of moves that got him close enough to touch a bell. After a fireball jutsu from Sasuke, we see him get caught in Kakashi's earth style headhunter jutsu. Let's fast forward to the Chunin exams. Here we see Kakashi climbing a mountain with one hand tied behind his back as Sasuke arrives after having discharged himself from the hospital. Dude, you're not a medical professional. Then they begin his training to learn the Chidori. Kakashi made it a point to train Sasuke himself because according to him, Sasuke was just like how he was. We already know that the Chidori is a high-speed lightning chakra-based jutsu that works effectively with the Sharingan. Both Kakashi and Sasuke have lightning-based chakra nature, and it seemed appropriate that the sensei would want to pass down his jutsu to his pupil. Okay, let's now discuss how Jiraiya and Kakashi spent their time in service to the Hokages and how they were excellent intelligence gatherers and trackers. We're going to start with Jiraiya. So, once Orochi Epstein left the village after being caught doing experiments on young children, also known as minors, by the third Hokage, Jiraiya knew he had to keep an eye on his movements. Jiraiya comprehended that Orochi Epstein would make an attempt to harm the hidden leaf since he decided to become a rogue ninja. During this process, we see Jiraiya operate independently but still in conjunction with the village. Jiraiya was a covert operative who worked as a spy for the hidden leaf, which is why he doesn't wear a leaf headband. Instead, he wears a forehead protector that says oil to show his affiliation to Mount Miyaboku. With this, he relayed information back to the Hidden Leaf Village on not just Orochi Epstein's movements, but the activities of other nations if they possibly had motives that would harm Konoha. Jiraiya did this under the 3rd and the 5th, and we can assume he did it for Minato while he was the 4th Hokage, but his tenure was only about 10 months, so we can't be for sure. Jiraiya, under the 3rd Hokage, would go months without communicating with the 3rd Hokage, and it was because he knew he would continue to have to deal with the 3rd Hokage and the higher-ups in the village bombarding him with the offer of becoming the Hokage. Those offers would eventually turn into demands, and he really didn't want to have anything to do with the position. Also, I believe it had something to do with the higher-ups believing that Kakashi was still a bit too young. Even in our introduction to Jiraiya in episode 52, Ibisu returns, Naruto's toughest training yet. Ibisu lets Jiraiya know that the village had been trying to get in contact with him and find his whereabouts for quite some time. Jumping over to Kakashi and how he became an Anbu Black Ops shinobi of the Hidden Leaf. My guy was really dealing with some intense trauma that stemmed from seeing Obito sacrifice himself for Kakashi's safety and then his deleting Rin by his own Chidori. That's tough, ninja. That's really tough. Both of your teammates experienced deletion because of you. Damn, dog. Anyway, Kakashi was recruited by Minato when he became the 4th Hokage, and homie went on a historic deletion spree and earned the nickname Cold-Blooded Kakashi. He was giving ninjas Chidori through the heart, left and right. Kakashi became an excellent assassin. Minato realized this and tried to find a way to soften up his heart, so he assigned him to guard Kushina in secret while she was prego with Naruto. It was the 3rd Hokage's suggestion. After the issue of the Nine Tails running rampant on the Hidden Leaf and Minato and Kushina losing their lives, Kakashi was now under the direction of Danzo, who offered him a position in the Root/Foundation, and after he found out about the kid who would become Yamato, he reported the information to the 3rd Hokage, who found him searching for intel in a dark room. From that point, he received his mission directives from the 3rd Hokage. The bulk of his missions were covert operations and professional deletions. After hearing from Kakashi's peers about the darkness he was slipping further and further into, the 3rd Hokage decided to get Kakashi out of the Anbu and make him a Jonin team leader of Genin. This is where we find Kakashi becoming Team 7's sensei. Alright, let's now get into understanding Jiraiya and Kakashi's dynamic as it pertains to the AKatsuki. When it comes to our first meeting Jiraiya, his return to the Hidden Leaf was most likely and can almost be guaranteed to be related to Orochi Epstein's returning to the Hidden Leaf to destroy it, which was an attempt that happened a month later during the finals of the Chunin exams. Jiraiya found out about the AKatsuki through his tracking of Orochi Epstein and finding out that he had become a member of the organization. Orochi Epstein had left the AKatsuki organization before the attempt of the destruction of the Hidden Leaf happened, but Jiraiya still thought it was best to monitor the AKatsuki's movements as well as Orochi Epstein. Once Jiraiya became aware of the AKatsuki targeting Jinchuriki, he knew it was necessary to inform Kakashi that he would be the one handling Naruto's training because of the threat he knew was coming and that Kakashi should just focus on Sasuke. After Orochi Epstein's failed attack on the Hidden Leaf, the village didn't have a Hokage because Orochi Epstein used the comeback from the land of deletion jutsu called the Reanimation Jutsu, and Hiruzen had to fight the 1st and 2nd Hokages in a 2v1 handicap match. So, the only person that Jiraiya really trusted with the information on the AKatsuki until the 5th Hokage was decided was Kakashi. Also, Jiraiya was faced with the dilemma of possibly not being able to leave the village because unlike the previous request, he was almost dealing with an outright demand that he become the 5th Hokage. So, he decided to take Naruto with him to find Tsunade, who he deemed a better fit. Kakashi was also a logical choice to be the successor, but with Jiraiya alive, I don't believe the village wanted to take a chance of choosing someone so young due to what happened to Minato. With Jiraiya understanding this, he had always developed a close relationship with the students of his student and did what he could while he was in the village to assist Kakashi with information and words of wisdom when it came to being a person and a shinobi. Also, with Kakashi being in charge of guiding his godson Naruto as his subordinates, he had to alert Kakashi on the actions and intentions of the AKatsuki. Right after Jiraiya made Kakashi aware of the actions of the AKatsuki, we see Kakashi, Azuma, and Kurenai run into Itachi and Kisame, and Kakashi revealed that he was aware of the AKatsuki's actions. Next time on part 3 of Jiraiya and Kakashi's relationship, we will go further into detail on how they planned on handling the AKatsuki. We'll also dive into how they began to coordinate with one another under Tsunade's tenure as the Hokage and how the trio made decisions on how to best prepare Naruto. Then we'll go about exploring how the three decided on how to handle the Nine-Tails Fox chakra within Naruto. I hope you enjoyed watching this because I enjoyed making this. Make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more Naruto breakdowns. I'll catch you in the next video. Deuces.